If now. Okay. Should start. Isn't? Mm. Okay. So I think now finally I'm live and volume levels are fine. Volume levels are fine. Okay. So I can close it. And yeah. So welcome back to my channel, guys. And today in this video, I have some plans. Okay, I am going to work first of all on a refactor, which is, all my files. When I do hotel, I see model, route, schema, service, repository, all as hotel.py. So, it was very difficult to understand which file is what. And the only way we can understand that is through this, folder structure. So I decided, why don't we, refactor this? Now there was a requirement to refactor. So what I went ahead and did was, actually, I'll have to pull my changes. I made some changes to the code base and just added, some tests. Okay. And now what that allows me to do is make test. If I run that, okay, yeah, I haven't done the UV sync, so some of the packages were missing, but now they are added. And now I have 75 tests. You can see. So I asked Claude Code what is the typical standard for writing tests in Python, and it suggested using PyTest. So I went ahead and did that. Looks like it has coverage as well. So if I go to my make commands, make test coverage. Okay. Oops, I made a mistake. What it will do is run the entire test suite, and it gives me this statistics about, what is the coverage percentage. I can see that my repositories are not tested, my route is not tested. So overall I have a 75% coverage, and it's a good thing to know. I can also see there is make test watch. Oh, looks like it doesn't have that feature. I haven't tested it yet, so now I understand it's a breaking thing. But yeah, I'll see if actually there is a way to do that. And I also found there is one nice little thing, HTML coverage. This is very similar to what I have seen with PHP. We have something called PCOV. That PCOV allows us to create a coverage report, an HTML format, and it is also giving me something similar, I guess. I have this. Okay, functions, classes, files. I can go over here and right. So very similar to what I used to get with PCOV, where it will give me an HTML thing, and I could get into individual files and understand which part of the code is not getting covered. What is this green with different kind of things? I don't know. So for example, get by ID, I know this is not getting tracked. That's why this is in red. And overall, this is why this it has 75% coverage. Okay, so I can highlight either the greens, okay, and yeah, this is fine. No, it is interesting. We can very easily then understand where do we stand, right? And okay, this is taking me to something else. Index, perfect. This is nice. I would say it allows us to very visually understand what is happening with our tests. So I have this, and what I will do is the first thing that I'm going to work over here is this refactor, right? So I'll just copy this and say my first agent, other chats, and start. Okay. So now this should work. And in the meantime, what I will also do is, yeah, I don't have tests for my let's look at the repositories. So I have coverage on one repository at 75%. So why don't we tell it to in a new chat maybe? Hey, is it done? Hold on. Import updates by phase. This is implementation plan. Okay, that's fine. Any chats or anything? No, not yet. So fine. Current state hotel.py, no hotel repository in this services. Okay, all good. Files to rename repositories, current this and this, hotel underscore repo and location underscore repo. Schemas hotel.py, hotel underscore schema.py, location underscore schema. Okay. If this plan looks good, I will proceed with the implementation. Yeah, please. Go ahead. And I would tell it to evaluate this repository and write unit tests for this. So I have one method get paginated. I have one count, create, slug exist, get by slug, update, solve delete, get by ID, increment location count, decrement location count, right. Oh yes, it is going to refactor it, so I'll rather wait because I can't address it. But you know, I kind of like this idea of having these tickets in place. So it allows me to do a little bit of research on what I want to do and then share this as a plan. So what happens is at any point of time, if you guys also want to reference any of these tickets, you are, you can feel free to do that. And every history is captured over here, and you can get to that specific commit to see, how I have made this. So a very proper structured way, because that's how typically you would work in any of your client projects as well, right? So it makes sense to start with that kind of an approach. I'm going to do that more often. Some of the tickets I'll create where a lot of R&D is required, and then I will explain you my learnings and everything. And the ones which are straightforward, we will just go ahead and do that. What is it? Yeah. So I have also done one change, which is I have added some files for my cursor rules. I'll create a new tab, and maybe we can go into that. So I already had claude.md, but that is primarily for Claude Code. Over here, I'm going to do it for cursor as well. So it has the nest stay layers.mdc. Let's go inside that. So this is the rule book that you have for your code AI agent. So I have clearly said that there are repositories, single table only, one repository per table, no calls to other repositories. So far, we will do that. Do not commit. Repositories never call commit. They only perform DV operations within a session. Services. When an operation touches multiple tables or needs non-trivial business logic. Okay. I would go one step ahead, and typically what I would like to do is not at all import repositories in my routes. I will always have services being injected, and they are the only ones responsible for the data in whatever form it is. And if the service wants to call the API, they will use the repository. Okay. I have the routes in place as well. Then I have project level things. I have these commands. I have the layout, which is main.py is here, database files are here, app. I have these folders and stuff, session injected using the depends thing, and the architecture is over here. And in terms of testing, I have some laid down rules as well. I have in memory SQLite thing. So I have made that ready. It's not very difficult. I saw the code and it made some configurations so that we can run SQLite in memory. Is it still running? All 75 tests passed. Okay. So while it is saying that all the tests are passing, I think we can run that. Yeah, 75 tests are passing, so this is good. And in here, let's quickly look at the changes that were done. So get ignore is fine. Make file is again fine. Yeah, I think the config test is quite important. This is where a lot of the heavy lifting was done in terms of configuring things. Make file project.toml. Test health. So these are API tests. For example, the health test, right? The root APIs. I do client.get. This is the test client. We get it from FastAPI. So we make an get call to / we expect a status code of 200, and I'm expecting a message, welcome to Nest Stay API, which is fine. Then I'm testing the health status as well. So these are all tests. If you see, they're very straightforward. For example, /hotels, I'm looking for a status code of 200, response JSON, and then I'm asserting that data items is an empty array, total is 0, page is 1. By the way, guys, those of you who are hardcore Python developers, you might find me calling these as arrays. I know they are different. I think this is list, but yeah, I may possibly call them interchangeably. Please excuse me on that. And there's a lot of history behind me calling them arrays, because in PHP I'm kind of, it's a muscle memory right now to call them arrays. Okay, let's look at the config test. So in the config test, what it does is ensure all models are imported from the table. Then it creates a session fixture, and this is where I'm kind of using the SQL in-memory database so that the tests don't run on my actual database and they don't screw up anything on my database. Plus, they are very fast. Okay, yeah. Then they have done some sample data to check whether it is working properly or not. Okay. And yeah, rest of the things, I have some tests for my APIs. I have some tests for my models. For example, on the model part, I have checked whether the table name is correct, the columns are all fine. Each and in every individual columns are being tested. I'm testing the metadata fields and even the relationships. Okay. In this way, it gives me the confidence that if anything is changed and I mean, if I change anything, it will get caught in my test suite. Okay. So this is fine. We have done the refactor. So what I will do is say that okay, in the meantime, I want to know what's the industry standard for lint and formatting of Python code. I know it's rough, but rough, that is RUFF, but still, let us look at that, understand what it has to say. It made some changes to the architecture as well. Oh yes, it has to, because yeah, these file names have changed. Then yeah, this is all fine. Right. Let's quickly look at them. So why are there changes in this particular file? Okay, because this is changed location underscore repo. Okay, location underscore repo. This is pretty much the same file, just that we have changed the class name because the file name has changed as well. Okay, this is fine. Hotel repo. Yeah. So I guess I can go ahead and keep all. No, let me look at them quickly. So location service create is there, and list locations. Let me match with one maybe. So this is location, right? So if I do location, typically the models nowadays don't make mistakes in this, so we can literally accept everything. So let's see, we had create self data location create, it took that. So yeah, list locations, self page and page size. List locations, yeah, self page, page size. Can you see? I mean, this is very, very predictable. List by hotel, correct? Self, hotel ID, page and page size. Yeah. So yeah, this goes like this. We can definitely go ahead and make these things ready. Generate the thing, and I will at the end say it closes. Issue ID 3, right? Yeah. It already installed rough because it is trying to do something. Okay. So I think during the testing it has implemented it. How did I miss that? Oh, no. It's the YML where things are added. Okay. What does my make has to say about this? Make. Yeah, my bad. Uh, mm, 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 mm. So let me also do make format length. Okay, there are a few issues. We will have to look at that later on. I'll do that. Not right now. I'll first need to commit these because these are part of the refactor. It is doing a lint on every commit. So, okay, let's go ahead and see what it has to say. How many issues are there? 4. Line too long. Okay. This is line too long. This is line too long. Okay. I think those can be fixed. Make lint fix. Found 4 errors. It is still complaining. What I will do is tell it that when I run make lint, yeah, I can see 4 errors. Fix them. So let us fix that any which ways, and then we will move ahead. So yeah. Mm. Make lint, yeah, please go ahead. And while this is happening, I'll just try and get a few things in place. Yeah, no comments as of now. Um, just made certain changes. What are the changes? Okay. Fine. Let's move go ahead with that. It is making certain comments smaller and stuff, which is fine. Especially around the tests. I think we should, yeah, we can ignore the tests for our lint. I understand they will be a little verbose. I can do that as well. All of them are tests, right? So yeah. Okay, so shortened the class doc string. These are the only changes that was required. All passed, and I'll add these changes. Try to commit now. It should work. Yep. So at least our refactoring is done. The file names now would make a little more sense. And the next thing that I want to do is perfect. I have a little bit of documentation with me around the next. I would like to add a new entity, guest. Add the migration for this. Add the model. Um, add the repository. Oops. The repository should have the following methods. For now, we will need create. Okay. Have a create, then get customer, guest by phone number. Get guest by email, by ID, get all guests is fine. Update, delete. Yeah. Add a service. The service should have the following methods: create guest, get guest name, so I'll just first, get the basic functions and everything in place. Or maybe we'll do the repositories and everything later. The model should have the following fields. Let's see. So we need ID, yes. Name, email, phone number. Email is optional. Phone number will be unique. Is active, fine. Password. What else? Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes to see if anything else is required. No. So, sorry, my bad. Let's go ahead and do that and let it run things while, we can do a little bit of chit chat till then. Okay. So, guys, while I was working on these requirements, I also started looking at the situation of how we can handle the customer race conditions, and that is something which I'm right now experimenting with different kinds of codes, because what I want to do is handle the reservation in a proper way. Certain requirements which I feel will be required in my application are obviously the first thing is, as a user or as a guest, I would like to search for hotels which we call locations based on start date, end date, and then the location, right? Hold on a second. Okay. I have something on my specs. So, yeah. Again, some spots, but okay. Registered guest. So, auto generate this. Alembic. Create new migration. Update the config test.py. Yeah, because the model needs to be imported there. Yeah. Guest model. I have my required fields. Okay. Export an Alembic registration. Update the model to import this. Perfect. And then, yeah. Migration, make this. This will generate a new migration, generate update. Grid should create the table. And then there will be the down as well, which will be handled. Now test. Add tests, include guest in all. SQL model, create this. Verifications, run tests. I should have a thing about look at the tests for hotel and location, and based on that pattern add tests for the guest. Oh, I don't have this. So add test for the guest model as well. So update the plan. Let it do its thing. And I think once this is done, we will be ready to at least start with the guest model thing. And in the meantime, we can look at, in parallel, we will look at this, which is our repository and service for user. Create guest by phone number, guest by email. I think I don't need email. Maybe I would. Maybe I would delete guest. Okay. I will later on need methods like update email and stuff, but we will kind of do that later. I don't think it is important right now. At a service, get guest by this, get all guests. Okay. Get all guests should follow the pagination, and repo and service should follow pagination pattern like we have done in other repos. So if we look at hotel repo, yeah. Let us look at the function over there. Damn, it is very slow. I have get paginated, right? So get paginated self, offset, and limit. So yeah, we will do something similar where we'll get the get paginated. You can look at in hotel repo.py. Okay. So this is done. Then I will need one more method in the service, which is add one more method in the service, which is register guest. This method will be used to register a new guest. It will take the following parameters: name, phone number. I think I did a mistake. I'll need a password. So let's keep it like that. If they are trying to log in through email, I will look for the password. But if they're trying to log in through phone number, I'll just ask for OTP. I think that's the best. Okay. Return the guest object. Add one more method in the service, which is login guest. No, I don't need the login guest right now. You're going too far. Okay. Add one more method in the service, which is logout guest, which I don't need as well. Okay. So yes, get all guests in repo. You can look for the pagination and this. Add one more method in the service, which is register get. This method will take this. And yeah, we're almost there. This one I will create a ticket. I think I forgot to do this for pa, pa, pa. Guest model and migration. All right. I think I can use this and create the entire ticket, isn't it? Yeah, let me do that. There was somewhere, yes, this markdown. I can go over here, just have it for reference. Oops. And yeah, let's hit build. I I should have gone ahead and do that earlier. I'll let it do its thing now. And I'll just close this. This is getting executed. And in the meantime, let's read this one. Okay, it's doing its thing. Uh, yeah. So in here, in scope, guest SQL model, repo, service, schema, out of scope, API routes. This will be added later. Perfect. Design decisions, guest model, ID, name, phone number is unique, email, optional, unique when set for guest by email. Yeah, perfect. Password hashed only. Follow existing soft delete pattern is active, deleted at. Yes, thank you. Delete guest, implement a soft delete, set it is active as false for consistency with hotel and location. Pagination is there. Then password, add passlib. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Oops. Uh-oh. I hope I haven't broken my bottle. Hold on. Yeah, it's still alive. And okay, so now guest model. Guest model. Why is it saying guest model table new file? Why? Then what is this doing? Okay, I guess it will update itself because I created the plan, but we hadn't executed this ticket or this whole plan, right? So it couldn't find the file, and that's why we are stuck with this kind of a thing. But that's fine. We can allow that to happen, and then we have guest schemas. Okay. Repository. We have create, get guest by phone number, by email, select by email, filter is active. This is also filter is active. I should have done get active guest by phone number maybe. Because in the admin, I'll need that, isn't it? Or maybe I'll pass this as a parameter for now. Count will be required. Update guest. Yes. Delete guest. All these are fine. And password hashing utility. Utils password.py. Okay. Use passlib bcrypt. Depends on this. It will be added to the toml file, which is good. Then in my service, I have create guest, build guest, hash password if provided, create commit, refresh, return guest, get by phone number, get by email. These are fine. Delegate to repo. Yes, these are straightforward delegate to repos. Get all guests, page size, repo paginated, count. Perfect. Alembic, add guests to import Yeah, this will get done. I'm not worried about that tests. I can never read these. These are too faint. I don't know why it creates that in dark mode, or maybe I'm on dark mode. That's why this is not very clear. That most probably will be the case. Yeah, this is ready. What I would do is once our, this agent has done the thing, we will wait. We will update the requirements of this, saying that we have created certain we have created the model and migrations, so update your plan accordingly, something like that. Do I have any comments as of now? No, I don't. That's fine. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions on the thing, feel free to ask. If you have any feedback, then also feel free to comment and let me know. Okay. This time it's going a bit slow. I think when it generates the tests, right? Um Sometimes it does go in a loop, but it is important to tell your agent how it can measure its success. And the only way to measure its success is to run its tests. And that will also ensure that whenever you are writing new functionalities, you are not breaking something, because at this space which we are developing things, it is very important to have those tests. But yeah, guys, tell me one thing. How many of you used to write tests, for your client work, and was it like you used to write it on your own, or you were told by the client that I will need tests for the code that you have written? What was your experience, and what do you feel is the importance of tests? Because personally, I do a lot of experimentation on multiple projects, and then suddenly I will pass from one project to the other, do certain things, and then hop back to another one. And in these situations, I have always seen that with so much context switching, you will tend to forget some nitty gritties about certain things. And if you don't have tests, then you are kind of bound to ship a code which is not 100% bug free. And that's why it is good to, and anyways, I think you can't write 100% bug free code, but you will not break something which was working earlier, right? That's more important. Okay, while this is done, we will first make some changes. So I have already added the model and migration as part of a different session. So validate the plan once more and update based on the new changes. Okay. So let it do its thing. So yeah, I was saying that it is hence very important that you write your tests so that when you are moving so fast, you have something to back you and say that, okay, whatever you have made as changes in this commit, right? This is not breaking anything else. Now, I think this is the models thing. Yes, in it where we have added the guest. So this can go. I don't have a problem with this. This is our migration file. Let's quickly look at this, what we have in here. Yes, this is fine. We have operation create table, guest, column ID, right? Nullable is false, SQL model name auto string, nullable false, nullable true. This is string as well. Then we have phone number, nullable is false because it can't be null. Yeah. Password, nullable false. Password, nullable false. I'm thinking in this particular way, the password becomes mandatory, isn't it? Which should not be the case. Because I can literally have a situation where I can register with just phone number and OTP. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to make some changes over here. I can see that you have made password mandatory field in migration as well as code. I want the password to be an optional field. If the user registers through mobile, then the password is never asked. But if the user registers through email, then the password is required. So make changes to the files accordingly. However, now I think this is why I don't do parallel stuff in my office work, because whatever changes I make will have an impact over here as well. Right. So I'll make these changes, and again I'll have to tell it to make the other kind of changes in my service and repository. But yeah, we'll have to make it. So I think from next time I won't do this parallel work. So on such related stuff, it doesn't make sense. It's too complicated to comprehend it, and any change here will mean there's a dependency on that side. We'll have to again run on that because I haven't been able to run it so far. I'm still in the plan phase. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really saving any time on that particular place. I can prompt it in the meantime. Can I copy? Yeah. Where is my last thing? I want the password to be an optional field. If the user this, yeah. I have made changes to model migration and stuff. Yeah, I don't need to tell that. Let it evaluate on its own. Okay, because we haven't reviewed it yet. And let's start with the migration. So this is nullable true. Yeah, this is fine. This is the ANV. No problem here. I think the only major change is Yes, the guest is added over here. And what else? Yeah, I can go ahead and approve this file as well. Config test, again, I think the model will be included. This is my tests config test, so fine. This is added over here as well, and nothing else. Awesome. Now, um, let me close this file. Okay. Um, yeah. Da, da, da. Now, in the guest, let's look at this. Today, I think I'm going a bit slow. I don't know why. So I have table this, phone number, password can be none, and is active. Perfect. Let's look at the test, because tests are where a lot of things will get clear. So the table name is fine. Test columns, ID, name, phone number, da, 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 da. Yes, this is good. Test ID is integer primary key. Yeah, this is fine. Then I have test name is required. Can't have a guest without a name. Email is nullable string. Yeah. Phone number is unique string. Definitely. And these are only, the unit tests for the model, because I'm not testing the functionality here. I'm just checking that the model has certain MySQL attributes, or database level attributes, which will also define the database accordingly. Okay, password is nullable. Test is active is Boolean with default true. Yeah. Then created at, updated at. Perfect. Close this out. Test ID field is optional in primary key. What does this mean? Assert Pydantic model field metadata types for API. Test ID field is optional. Yeah, correct. Test name field is required. Model fields, okay. Password field. Okay, this is kind of making sense. I'll accept this. And this is done. Let's move on to this. And let's quickly evaluate this one now. In scope, this, out of scope, this, guest model, email is optional, phone number, password optional. Then migration, guest is already there. Schema, is it creating a schema? Okay, it does. We will review that. Design consideration, delete guest, use hard, password optional. Mobile registration does not ask for password. Email registration requires password. Add this, hash, and store it in this column only when password is provided. Model and DB already supports optional password. Register guest. No password. Email, password is required. If email is provided, password is required. Raise 400 if missing. Okay. So I guess the schema is taken care as well, which is a good thing. And guest schema, update, create, update, read, right? Exclude password from attributes. Perfect. This is done correctly. That is something which I was expecting. Guest index, reuse pagination response, guest read. Okay. Schemas is fine. One thing which I want to check in schemas. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. It is saying, where is that? The pagination was, yeah, reuse paginated response guest read. Okay, fine. Guest repository, it has create, get by phone number, by email, by ID, count, update, delete. Okay, password utility, service, create guest. Again, I think now I'll have to make some changes. So we have create guest, hash password only if provided. So I'll have to say for the service file, I want two methods, register guest by phone number and register guest by email. Yeah. Okay. And because I have create guest, I have register guest. Doesn't make sense. It should have that, and we can literally skip the create. Okay. It's doing its thing. I think now with this will be almost done. At least the guest part will be kind of done, and then we can look at the other aspect, which is the booking. You know, because I right now have hotel, I have locations, and I will have guests. What I will do then is allow the locations to have room times. For example, normal rooms, deluxe rooms, super deluxe rooms, those kind of things. We should have the ability to define the count of these type of rooms, how many of them are there, what is their rate, those kind of stuff. And then from there, we should pick up things. Okay. Wow, it's taking some time. Da, 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 da. In the meantime, let me see. Yeah, I think I can't commit it at this particular junction because this is incomplete. What I need is the uh, entire files being changed for guest. Okay, so it has create guest, register guest. I didn't make that change. Why? Maybe it will do it now. I don't know. Um, so you see, we are wasting time because there were certain things which we discovered during the vibe coding, and I think this is where those decisions need to be taken. For example, I could have told it to make the password mandatory, and then we would have created a horrible experience where a user trying to log in through mobile also needs to add a password because you have mobile number, just send me an OTP. I don't need to remember my password, right? That makes so much sense. um, the guest service ideally should have some, you know um, change in the file names, the function names. Let's see, register guest, Get user by phone number. Okay. What's with the repository? No. What is it saying? Design decisions. Replace the single register get with two methods. What? Register guest by phone number and register guest by email. Where is it? Am I looking at the correct thing? Okay, if it is saying it will do that, maybe it will. I'm looking at the wrong plan because I can't see it here over here. I have register guest, create guest. Guest service, register by, yeah, it's saying it is going to be in the service. Fine, maybe it will do it. We'll check that during the um, review process. Duplicate registration. Both method register 409 when the identifier phone or email already being used. Yep. Okay. So show me the complete plan because I don't see the build. Where's the build button? Yeah, it figured it out. The file was showing me the old thing, so now it is updating it. Good. Um, should give me the now updated plan, and then let's go ahead with the build. We have tweaked it quite a lot, to be very honest. Yeah, so it has register get guest by phone number, by email, the test, file checks, optional. Perfect. Everything is ready. I just need to okay, let me say go ahead and build. I can't see the build button, so maybe it's a small little bug. I think, and once this is ready, right? I think we can call it a day. It's almost an hour, or let's say, because the guest is done, and let me look at my notes. What is the next entity that I would like to do? I think it is room type. Yeah, it will take some time, definitely. So we will stop it here. Maybe in the afternoon again, I will have one more session where I will again start working on this because the APIs are also not done. A lot of work is pending. I will have the. I don't think I'll need the complete CRUD, will I? Yeah, I will. The create will basically be the register for now. Yeah. And I can make all of them, all of these routes as admin routes, or I'll have to separate them. Maybe slash admin APIs will be something which will take uh, a specific kind of auth token, or there will be a middleware which will check whether all the users who are trying to access have a specific role or not. Okay. And based on that, it can either allow you or not allow you to do certain things. Okay. Project Toml. What changes were made to Project Toml? It's quite slow. Yeah, let it. No, 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 no. The window is not responding. Keep waiting. Don't close anything. A lot of things are happening right now. Should have waited. Don't restore editors. Keep waiting. Yeah, please keep waiting. I hope it's not stuck. Yeah. Hmm. I have a feeling it's not responding right now. And what could be the probability of getting it back? Okay, something is still happening. So yeah, let's wait. Let's clearly wait for things to work. And this 3 files to analyze is where I think the problem starts. Stream health is fine. What did it do? The plan is opened right now. I mean, it's quite quick to realize that. But anyways, started the two to-dos. Okay. It is building right now the guest repository. So I guess after that it will create the service. Okay. And mm, mm, mm. I don't want to break it in between. I'm sure it is doing something, or is it not? And the rest of the things were kind of ready. And these things are responding. So I have a feeling it is just the editor which, yeah, it is still working. Okay. The service has started its thing. But again, it says connection stalled. Maybe that is the reason it is facing these kind of problems. 3 files to analyze. I don't understand what analysis it is trying to do. And I'm not able to stop it. Try again. At least if I could have seen those files, right, that have been modified, we could have done the review. But yeah, let's wait for a little bit more. Sorry about this, but I'm sure, yeah, the service now it is doing its thing. Sometimes I have seen in recent times, cursor goes through a strange problem. It starts to gets disconnected. It says that connection timeout or something like that. A lot of my colleagues are also facing that same issue, some of them on laptops, some of them on desktops, Wi-Fi's, LAN cables, everything. The Wi-Fi is working fine, but still we get those errors, and I have no clue why that was happening. And they should probably give some control over what is happening and what we can close. For example, right now, this 3 files to analyze. I don't know what it is trying to do, and probably it is utilizing a lot of resources there. I could have paused it, and then restarted it later, but no. Uh, so yes, I mean, the UI does have a lot of benefits, but it sometimes can cramp you as well. You can feel a little out of control with certain things, whereas with Cloud Code, these things don't happen because everything is on terminal. So the UI part of it is a little less. Okay. It is doing something around the email thing because yeah, it's raising those email conflict stuff. All right. Yes, the project toml was updated because of the passlib bcrypt thing, which makes sense. Yes. So I don't think anything else will be changed in here, but still I'll wait for that thing. Now this is a util, right? Yeah. So passlib context import crypto context, password context. Why is it doing like this? Scheme deprecated auto. Okay. Passlib, Python passlib. Let's try to look at that. So passlib is a Python password hashing library for Python 2 and 3, which provides cross-platform implementations of over 30 password hashing algorithms. Okay. Hmm. Okay. They were on GitLab. The wiki doesn't have anything any now. So yeah. Why did it create that context thing? I don't know. Passlib is this, which provides. It's designed to be useful for a wide range of tasks, from verifying a hash found in etc shadow to providing full strength password hashing for multi-user application. A quick sample. Okay, getting started. Uh, is it done? No, it's still working. It's writing those tests, so we are almost there. Uh, Crypt context. Yes, this is what they imported, right? Yeah. Let me understand. So the passlib context module contains one main class, crypt context. This class is designed to take care of many of the more frequent coding patterns which occur in these applications, identify the algorithm used by hash, and then verify a password. Okay. It identify the algorithm as well. Okay. And then verify the hash. Perfect. Configure the default algorithm, migrate rehash passwords with an algorithm that has been deprecated, load set configuration, blah, 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 blah. So it creates the context, schemes. So it created the context. We have done that over here. Schemes bcrypt, deprecate auto, and with that, it does a hash. Very similar to what they have done, right? So they created the context, got hash1 equals my context dot hash. Okay, now I understand. It also has verify and identify. What is the difference between verify and identify? And I understand verify would probably be the way to verify our password, whether the hash match or not, but I'm not sure about identify. Verify secret against an existing hash. If no scheme is specified, this will attempt to identify the scheme based on the content of the provided hash. Okay, that makes sense. So if I provide the scheme, then it knows and it will try to validate, and it returns a true or false. What is it trying to do? UV sync. Okay, go ahead and do that. Thank you. What about validate? Again, make test. Okay, go ahead. Attempts to identify which algorithm the hash belongs to. Okay. So this is verify. Verify secret against an existing hash. Attempt to identify which algorithm the hash belongs to. So the parameter is hash, the hash string, optional, user category, resolve, required. Returns the handler which first identifies the hash or none. I haven't given a update per se. Sorry, example, but fine. So we have seen the toml. This is fine. Close. Password. We have seen this. Let's say keep close. Then guest schema. It has a few things. Create schema. It takes the name, phone number, email, optional string, and password, optional string. Update. Okay. Read. Okay. Okay, so for the password update, I'll have to create a separate thing, because this update doesn't have the password, which makes sense. For on a password update, you will have to do confirm password and all those things. This is schemas. Okay, in schema, guest create. This is fine. Okay, this is done. This init is repositories. In this, it will add this, which is fine. In this is what repository service, it adds the service. Go ahead. This is the unit. Okay, let's allow that. Now guest repo, we have create, switching to the bcrypt library directly to avoid parslib's incompatibility with 5x of bcrypt. Why is it doing it now? Create text the guest entity model. I don't know if it will be required. So we will make a note and later on check if that is really required. Phone number, okay. Select where phone number is this, where guest is active. The email, okay. Guest by ID. Although, yeah, I might require it. So get paginated, set, okay. Order by guest ID. So we are getting only the active ones. Order them by ID. Offset limit. Okay. Count is fine. Update guest takes the model, right? Loading. What happened? Yeah, this is the entity. So fine. So that's why I'm getting the entire one and hard delete. Oh, no. This one is wrong. Let me see. Hotel repo. Have we done a hard delete? No. Decrement, increment by ID. Soft delete. Correct. So see, the reviews are required. Sometimes it does make mistakes and we will have to now fix this. Also, I don't know why it suddenly realized that the package it has used is not the optimum one, and so it is making some other changes, which is again a bit of a problem because now it has a new update to the toml. And I don't want to break it in between. Okay, make tests. Fine. Cha. It's almost 1 hour 23 minutes, huh? This must have been the most slowest one because, yeah, others were, creating the other entities were quite fast. But yes, I have a feeling this would happen more often now because now we are also doing tests, and I have seen generally when we give it the tests is when it takes a lot of time. Yeah, which is fine. To be very honest, it will be very difficult to move ahead without having tests, honestly. So yeah, even if it takes time, we will take smaller chunks and maybe I will divide them as just creating the functionality and then writing the tests and stuff, but or maybe I'll write the tests separately, but tests are required. So so now again we have a summary. I just looked at the entire documentation of passlib, and now it is saying it's not going to use it. I don't understand why. Uh, okay, bcrypt, fine. Python bcrypt. I'll validate that as well. It's very, very strange. What happened? Um, bcrypt. Okay, generate salt. Fair enough. Um, in the meantime, Terminator will freeze. I know that. I'll just remove it from here. Um, yeah, for just asking for password. Repo. These things should be fine. There should not be any change in here. This is what we wanted to change. So yeah, let me run that. Okay. So this is kind of the last change, probably, if we don't find any error, because that's one more thing, correct? Uh, yeah, deleted it. This is now correct. Add deleted it to guest table. Okay, it. I will make that change later. I will add that as a single migration, because just the deleted at here doesn't make sense. I'll keep that as a to do, and I'll make that. Otherwise, again, we'll have to go through that change. Mm, it's okay. Running the thing. Ta, ta, ta. Run in here. Ah, okay. Okay. I have a thing. I mean, is there a way of adding some kind of traits in Python? I don't know. But yeah, the migration will need to be added any which ways. So yeah, that's fine. Overthinking. Hmm. Test underscore guest. So it updated the column in the model test file. Test deleted at is nullable. Yeah, perfect. Then test updated at field has default. Date time. Hmm. You'll have to be very careful about the DTOs for the front end and the back end, because, for example, the deleted at should also not come up in any of the front facing DTOs. And I think a good option here will be to have schemas for admin and front end separate, because they are going to work very differently. Okay, it is running the tests. Seems like everything is passed. And all guest related tests passed. Running the full test suite. Okay, it hasn't done that. What was the thing? Command over here? cd this uv run group test pytest. Okay, the file names. Got it. So that way, like in PHP, I can execute certain test cases by just mentioning the file name. I think this similar thing is possible here as well, which makes sense. And if I'm making small changes to specific files, then generally speaking, it is better that I run that particular test. And if my tests are properly done, then others will not get impacted for running them again and again. Both are solid choices, but here is the breakdown. bcrypt hash this generate salt, bcrypt this. Minimal dependency does one thing well, directly uses this passlib. Okay, the fast API docs historically showed passlib plus bcrypt, but many projects now use bcrypt directly. And Argon 2 CFFI for modern algorithms. Okay, fine. Go over here. Oh, we were looking at the repo first. So let's go to the repo. The delete guest is active false, deleted at this, and session add. Fine. Now service. Create guest. Get by phone number, the repository. These are all just passing the responsibility from the service to the repository. Offset, get paginated, count, validate, and then items total paginated. Yeah, update goes. I'm sure this goes straight to the repository. The only thing is if I don't find it, then I raise a 404, which makes sense. Then delete again. If I don't find, then it is there. Register guest by phone number. So self repo get guest by phone number. If it exists, then 409 conflict guest with the phone number already exists. Perfect. And the rest of the things are straightforward. It creates using the guest, create, commit, refresh, register by email. So it again does the conflict check, otherwise phone placeholder. What is this? Okay, because the phone number is mandatory. I missed this. Okay, we'll have to fix this. This can't work at production level, but yeah. The tests, not much has been updated on here. Okay, this is the model test, so perfect. Repository, test create persist guest. I think these will be fine. I will review them later, but for now I will just approve everything. because I have seen the logic. If a few tweaks are required on the test, I'll do that. But yeah, overall, even though it took some time, to be very honest, but we have our guest thing in place. The model, the services, the repositories, the APIs are still pending. Maybe I will do that in the second stream. But yeah, overall, this is fine. Let me now run the two things, which is make test, make lint, make format. Okay. All of them are related to tests, so I'll just make that one small change. This is going to be our last one, sorry. I'll say that I don't want the linting on the test files. It should, yeah. Can you make necessary changes? Yeah, this is definitely the last one because then I can commit. And I have a feeling the pre-commit config YAML is something which it will change probably. Project Toml. Oh, oh yes, yes, yes. Those configurations are in Project Toml, not this one. Fine. Let's see. Exclude. So it doesn't do it for the auto-generated migrations, not for the tests as well. Okay. That's the only line change. And it removed something. Awesome. Which means now everything should be fine. There's one which needs to be fixed. There is one lint error when I run make lint. Fix that. Yeah, it got it. So yeah, I think from the next time I will just give the entire error. It'll be a little faster. It fixed it. And I should have some rules so that during the format, it takes those statements one below the other. That will be even better. Never will we face this kind of situations. Yeah. Okay. So we have everything in place. I'll commit it later with the proper formatting and stuff. But yeah, slow progress today, but we will make it happen. In the next video, I will create the APIs and stuff. But yeah, that's what we are trying to cover over here. We have our guest model almost ready, and then we will look at the booking part of the application so that guests are able to find locations, they're able to do the bookings and stuff. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for being online and watching my videos. It will be very good if you can share some feedback about what your what you are thinking about this project, what's your view, and whether you are enjoying it or not. If you are not, let me know, and I'll try to improve on those aspects as well and try to make this better. Thank you. See you soon.